Welcome to Minutes with Mark. Today's topic is interconnectedness. It's a big word and a lot of people might not understand what I mean by that, but what I really am saying is that as human beings, I believe we're all interconnected. That means every human being on the planet at a soul level is connected. Now that's a big context to hold and say, no, we're separate. Well, if you really think you're separate from the energy that's flowing all over the planet, that's a small-minded thinker. One of the things I noticed about being interconnected was my trip to Africa and the forgotten villages of Senegal in the desert. I drove out in a Jeep 35 to 40 kilometers into a desert, and when I got there, there was this small community of people that were working together. They had one horse pulling up a bag of water. They were farming. They had chickens they were growing that had eggs and using that for fertilizer. But these people all had, every member of the village was doing something. The kids were doing something. The teenagers were doing something. The women, the girls, the elders, they all had their jobs, and they were a team. They were a community. They needed each other. They were interconnected. Here in the Western world, we're not that well connected with each other. What we do is actually, one of the goals was to get your own house, live up on a hill with a fence around it, and be, with now electronic age, you can have everything. You could even have your food delivered and never leave your house. See all the news on the internet or the TVs, and there's a loss of interconnectedness on our planet. And we think that we're separate, and that is just a joke. And if you look at physics and sciences, it'll prove you wrong. We are all connected. And that when we take that on and we live from I am you and you are me, it's a whole different world. It's a much bigger world that we're thinking of, and it would provide a world that works for everyone. Until we get to that stage of a worldwide interconnectedness and acknowledging that, we're going to have a world where we fight each other, we have wars, we don't get along. But when we get in that community spirit, like that little African village, and everybody's working together, and everybody feels good because they're making a difference, they have a contribution to make, that's real interconnectedness, and that's one thing that you could strive for in your family, in your communities. And more than ever, it's important nowadays in this electronic age.